A lot of people don't realize what happened in the old days. They only see the big new modern resorts with the 6-pack and 8-pack lifts and snowmaking and corduroy groomed slopes and ski in, ski out condos. A lot of young people think that this is the way it always was, but it wasn't. They don't know the history of how the sport began with small areas all over the country with rope tows, leather boots, wooden skis, and we're trying to tell the story of how the sport began and how it grew.
I think, especially being here in the museum and checking this all out, it's interesting to see how it's changed.
We consider it important because we want to keep the young people aware that there is a heritage. The skiing didn't begin the day you bought your pair of skis.
Just getting to work with a lot of the legends of skiing has really taught me a lot about the sport and about myself. It's great to get a better understanding of where the sport's come from.
Every sport is enriched if you know something of its history. It's more fun when you're watching the Olympics to know something about the past champions and what their accomplishments were.
Join Aisha. Come and find out about the history of skiing and meet some of the most important people and interesting people you've ever met on a ski mountain.
Knowing what you're being a part of is very important, and knowing where it started makes the whole experience much more interesting than just in the modern day.
History is very important. The only thing is that people are not learning enough from history. They forget things.
If you look at the old movies, such as in Der Weiße Rausch, the White Ecstasy, they do what they want coming down. That was real freestyle skiing. They had free heels. Just the toe was grabbed onto the ski with a strap that held the heel and it gave it some stability. But they skied incredible things. They jumped off the roofs of the hay barns in Austria and Switzerland and skied in deep snow with their old equipment, no steel edges even. And you see the athleticism of these people with such simple equipment.
The most famous quote in skiing came from the instructor Otto Schneebs, who told us somewhere in the late 1920s that skiing is not a sport, it's a way of life. And it was such a prophetic statement because of the whole culture of skiing that arose.
You wanted to go skiing? How did you go? You got 6 friends together to share the gas and to be able to help push the car out of the snowbank or out of the ruts. And you got snowed in, and you shared accommodations in converted farmhouses and things.
They got into the mountain troops to put it through a test. For you can give me skis and some poles and clister, and let me ski way up on Alta Vista.
Pete Seibert and I were both in the 10th Mountain, and back in '62 we decided to get going on a ski area in Colorado named Vail.
Being 10th Mountain Division, skiing was still very definitely a European sport in the 1930s. The men of the 10th feel that we fathered really the modern ski industry in America because there were over 60 ski areas in the United States that were either created by or directed by men of the 10th Mountain Division after the war.
You should also remember, though, most of the guys who came out of the 10th Mountain Division didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And it took some pretty wealthy guys to make their dreams come true. I mean, at Aspen you had Walter Pepke of the Container Corporation of America. Squaw Valley couldn't have got going unless Alex Cushing knew a lot of wealthy people back in New York. Stowe began to be built because C.V. Starr of the AIG Insurance Company took an interest in skiing. Tremblant was built because Joe Ryan in Philadelphia happened to inherit a lot of money and was an enthusiastic skier. It's to the great credit of Mason Beakley, another wealthy gentleman who had an enthusiasm, thankfully, for skiing, that we have the publication Skiing Heritage today. He had the vision to see that something like that was needed.
People who make skiing what it is remain the same. I mean, older and younger, all of them kind of share enjoying being outdoors and enjoying seeing new mountains and new places that haven't been explored before.
Maybe we have to go back to our roots, and that's where history comes in because the basic idea is still there.